Yes, we are back. We are back. It is Tuesday. It is the Healthy Trinity Show. It is the internet's #1 podcast and live stream. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Should be. Anyway, maybe one day it will be. Let's just keep at it, people. Keep on tuning in. Yes. Viewership. Spread the word. That would be great. Anyway, we're here Tuesday, the Healthy Trinity Show. Thank you guys for watching. We've got a great show today. I mean, we always have a great show, no doubt about that. But today we have a very special guest who is, his nickname is Big Daddy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he gave himself that nickname or somebody else did, but that's what he goes by, Big Daddy. It's just weird. He's the coolest guy ever. No, anyway, he's Jason Fossella is our guest today, and he is he's gonna knock your socks off with some just some amazing stories of transformation and how shifting your mindset a little bit will get you to the next level. So before we bring him on, before we give our guest his time in the spotlight, I want to talk real quick, something that's on my mind, something that's been going on with me that I think everybody relates to is fear, right? Fear is a huge thing and it can be a huge motivator. I don't know, have you guys ever seen my awesome, and I will use the word awesome, coffee cup for the Green Lantern? And the Green Lantern is my favorite superhero. And there's a reason for that, is because he is the man without fear. Fear is a great motivator for sure, but fear also limits us. It limits us in what we think we can do. It limits us on what we're able to do because we're so afraid of what might happen. But we also have to realize that fear is something that we think will happen in the future. Fear isn't actually something that's present around us. It's fear of what might happen. So if you think about it, we're afraid of something that doesn't actually exist. And that limits us. That holds us back. So my thought is, let's be bold and be brave. Let's be courageous and take life at a smaller increment. Take it at a 15-second interval. 15 seconds to have enough courage to make a phone call to somebody that you haven't been talking to. Have enough boldness to go up and meet somebody new. To whatever it is, apply for a new job. Whatever you need to do, whatever is on your mind but you're afraid of to do, take that 15 seconds and do it. Once you start that, it's going to set a whole chain of events in motion that's going to lead you to what you want and things that serve you. So when I drink coffee out of my coffee cup, the Green Lantern one, it's because he's the man without fear. And Hal Jordan has immense willpower. And he doesn't let fear hold him back. His willpower sustains him and gets him through. That's where his superpower comes from. So that's my thought this week. Don't let fear hold you back. Keep pushing forward. You want to start a new job? Go apply to a new job. You want to start changing your life and your health for the better? Don't be afraid of failing. Go do it. Do it afraid. Do it scared. Do it poor. Do it tired. Do it whatever it is. Do it. Don't be afraid of something that might happen because you're grasping at nothing. So, Jason, he's our guest. So I'm going to show you Jason. I was having a little trouble with the video, but I got it to work. We're just kind of limping along here today. There were some technical difficulties earlier, but this is Jason. Here he is. There he is, Big Daddy, in the building. What's happening, man?
Oh, well, different time zone, right? So lots happening. I guess it's
Oh yeah,
my day's winding down. Yours is in the middle.
the sun is still up and it's still 80 degrees outside. How about that?
Sure is.
Yeah, good, good. So thank you, Jason, for coming on today. We really appreciate your time and what you're about to pour into our audience, and I hope that everybody can get something from this, because I know, look, if it happens to one person, it happens to a lot of people. And that's something we have to understand, is we're all relatable. All of our stories are relatable. You're not unique. If you're out there, you catch this show because you say healthy mind, healthy body. What? Yeah, sure, I'll tune in. Guess what? Somebody else has been in your shoes and they've taken that journey. They've taken that step. They've overcome their fear and said, I'm going to do something about it. And Jason is one of those guys. So before we get started, I want to make a note to everybody that this is an interactive show. So when you come in, give us a hello. Let us know where you are watching from, and be sure to ask questions if you have them. Leave comments. Everything, anything, we'll answer it on the air. Well, not everything, but you know what I mean. Gotta be careful about that. I ran into a little trouble yesterday. I put something on my Instagram like, ask me any questions, go ahead. And I got some real doozies. So how about we steer away from that? Whoever that was, keep your comments to yourself. All right. So Jason, let's get started with your story. That is something that I think we're all eager to hear, is your story and your journey into health. Where did it start? How did it end up?
Well, just like I guess, just like a lot of stories, right? You have to think back long time ago, like I guess like a Star Wars movie, right? um, so I guess over the course of the years, it's almost like in life we carry a book bag with us, right? And as the years progress, pebbles are added to the bag. You don't feel how many pebbles are in this bag, but then over the course of time, these pebbles are now rocks. These rocks are now boulders, and then eventually, these boulders are you're carrying a mountain, right? So with that being said, over many years, I guess it really comes down to my weight and age turned into having some poor health. And what that really translates for me was I had sleep apnea. So for the last 5 years, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, and pretty much that if people don't know what that is, you stop breathing in your sleep, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to wear a mask every night, and so really 6 months ago, I would say a little over 6 months ago, I made a choice. Made a choice that instead of putting a lot of other things as a priority, I put myself as a priority. And I made a choice that everything I do in life is going to affect me, and people around me, right? So that's where it all started, and I started changing some behaviors and poor habits, starting with my just my diet, right? So which led into losing almost 50 pounds in 4 months. So every time I used to go to the doctor,
I need to cough on that one. Excuse me.
Every time I used to go to the doctor, my neurologist, and he used to say, "You just got to lose a little weight. Maybe we can get you off the machine, in the middle of the night." And I'm like, I felt like telling the doctor, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not overweight. I don't believe I'm overweight." So like I said, over the years and years, we tend to be brainwashed, right? And when I got involved in this program, I loved it, and it transformed my life into what it is today, and I'm still transforming.
There
Right?
you go.
There's a lot to it, but I'm happy that my health is so much better, and that then puts my priorities with my family and things I want to do with my family during the course of the day, and family outings, and just the people I love,
Right.
right? So um so yeah, it's a little bit about my journey.
Yeah.
um
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing when you say 50 pounds in 4 months. I mean, I know people who 2 years ago, when I was like, "Hey, are you interested in this?" Nah. I like to do things the old-fashioned way. I'm just gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna diet. And okay, well, their 50 pounds is still there 2 years later because they they're not really sticking to it. This wasn't something that was structured for them. They're just going to go ahead and wing it. But there's something to be said for structure in this program, isn't there?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we like to do is not only just physically transform ourselves, but we have to take a look at some of the other things too, right? Our mental transformations, our mindset shifts, our roadblocks, even when we have this journey. So when you were just, let's say, just starting out, because you said you're making the choice to change some of your habits, were your habits the ones you had before? Were they stubborn? Did they stick around? Was it tough to change them? And how did you overcome some of those roadblocks or some of those obstacles? What did you use? I don't know, concepts or anything else, or whatever you use to help with that.
Yeah, I would say listening skills, right? I mean, that's hard to just stop everything
Yeah.
and just listen to someone else when they're talking to you, when they're expressing their feelings, their emotions to you about yourself, and trying to help you see things that you can't see.
Yeah.
Then if you're not taking a pause in life and just listening to someone else
Mm.
and just accept to what they have to say, be vulnerable, right? Because if you're not vulnerable, then all you're going to be doing is being defensive, right? And now you're below the
Yeah.
line, right? So just I would say listening skills, and creating a little bit more self-awareness.
Mm.
Just applying some information that people were trying to talk to me about, family, friends, loved ones, right?
Yeah.
So taking that pause, and just making some adjustments, from the mental standpoint.
Hmm.
um, and then that led into different choices, right?
Mm. Hmm.
Obviously when people uh, indulge in food, they don't realize sometimes what they're eating and why they're eating those things, right? So I took a pause and said, is that really necessary? Is that what I'm looking to really eat right now that's going to get me to my goal? All right.
Right.
So I would say I had many many challenges during my journey, and
Hmm.
journey's not over, right? So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Never is.
but listening skills, I would say, was the first and foremost thing I had to really, really challenge myself for. And
Wow. So, um, you talked about it earlier and said that listening to other people because they can see things that we can't see, right? Um, because we all do have blind spots, and that's the truth. You think you are in your head, if we're talking about people like I was mentioning earlier that are, I'm just going to do it the old fashioned way, right? in their head, they've built up, I got a plan, I know what I'm going to do, and this is the way to go. But they have blind spots they don't see. And that's why that 50 pounds is still on them in relationships. When we think a certain way, like I'm going to go into speaking to my partner about something and you have your own perspective on it and you just talk at them, right? And
Yeah.
it ends up backfiring in your face because you didn't stop and ask them a question. You didn't ask them how they feel. You didn't listen to them. When you're like, I could have avoided all this if I just would have stopped and listened and made a different choice. And the same goes for our health. And that's where we learn it, is with our health. Stopping, listening, choosing what we want and making that choice based on our goals, based on our whys. Am I right? The why is a huge thing.
Yep.
So what is your why? When we talk about whys and why we're doing this and why you're doing anything or why you want have your own goals, share with us a little bit about your why. Why did you do this? Why did you do this when you did it?
Yeah, I had to really dig deep down for my why. At first, when that question was asked to me, I really didn't know. It took me maybe like 15, 20 minutes to really dig deep down inside my why. And it was kind of short and sweet. It really came back to, I wanted to be the best father, the best daddy, the best big daddy I can be. So I just I wanted to be the best dad for my children. I have two girls, and there's a reason why I'm bald, right? So they drive me a little crazy at times, right? So
I'm
but
getting there, man. I'm getting there. My kids are young, but
you
shit.
are far from it. So but really what it comes down to is, with my health conditions, that my sleep apnea caused me not to really have restful sleep at night. The doctor put me on meds during the day to keep me awake. So, I mean, he even gave me sleeping pills at night with my machine. So he conked me out at night and then gave me medicine during the day to function so I could stay awake. So
That's
I was
cool.
on 4 different meds. I'm not on those meds no more, not on the machine, right? But that allowed me to, be more involved with my kids,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I love it. I love it. I'll do anything for my children.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
but
Me
that's my
too.
why. That is my why.
100% mine too. I mean, that just, like I said, man, that hits me right here when you say that. Just be the best daddy that you can be for them, and not be a spectator in their lives, but be a participant. And that's one of the things, I guess, Sabrina here, who always chimes in with great wisdom. When we were talking about blind spots, she said the observer sees so much more than the participant. And I think we're just too close to the situation sometimes, and we don't see those blind spots. So thank you, Sabrina, for that. So Jason, now when you started to really get into the swing of this program, the weight was coming off, you were making better choices, and they became easier to see what those better choices are because obviously you're practicing them more and more. Um, what would you say would be obviously the main observable benefit is your 50 pounds that you lost? What would be some of the other extremely valuable benefits that you've received from, I'm not going to necessarily just say losing 50 pounds, but the program in general that we follow? What has been the biggest non-scale victory for you?
Well, so obviously, just like you said, the weight is one thing. The health goes along with it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it really comes back that was all a gift. It was all a gift, and I wish to this day that you know, over 5 years ago when I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and I had it for 5 years, over 5 years, I wish someone would have tapped me on the shoulder over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that leads me to, you know, that's the gift that now I'm able to give others. Right. And that's, to me, helping that one person right now, right? Or maybe if it's 2 or 3 or 4 that might have very similar conditions or the same condition, and helping them sooner than what happened to me. That's that is rewarding. That is absolutely rewarding to me.
Right. I find that is, you know, paying this forward, extending the gift is one thing, but extending it to people who have suffered the same way you've suffered with your conditions, with the sleep apnea, and then just being loaded up with medications. You don't want to see that anymore. You don't want to see people do that. So when you can reach and touch a person in such a way to improve their health, to improve their life, it hits so much more different than just some just regular old, I want to just fit into my skinny jeans again, right? I mean, I guess everybody's journey is important, but it goes back to your why. If your why is not strong enough, then you're going to fall for any how. You're just going to do whatever you could do or not do, because your why is just, I don't want to say flimsy, but it's got to be pretty strong. I've heard people say, if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not strong enough. Your why has to make you cry. And I'm not going to cry, but when you are talking about being the best daddy you can for your kids, and when that hit to me, it always hits me right in the feels, right dead center in the heart. And yeah, man, that why will make me cry. And I know would you too, Big Daddy. So, paying it forward now, now you have decided to become a coach. You're now coaching people. What are some of the benefits that you've seen? I don't want to say benefits again. I want to use a different word. What are some of the best parts about coaching for you, other than, you already spoke on touching that person that's been in the same shoes as you and helping them. What do you think is one of the better aspects about going from just being a client to a coach?
Yeah.
Does it help? What I'm asking, what I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, before you started, does it help your journey, your personal journey, even more when you become a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to chime in on. Right. So I think another reason in being a coach and helping others, trying to get them where they want to be with their why, right? Also helps with self accountability, right? Because I think that goes both ways. And even with my own coach today, that helped me on my journey. So that's there's a push and pull a little bit around, that accountability piece also, even with my coach, or even when I'm coaching others. Right. So, but that accountability piece is something that helps me along with my journey. I know that's going to be sustainable. From a financial aspect of things, I think that it's nice to see that, every month there's that little recognition behind, the dollars that come forth as well. Where it's just an added layer to my nest egg, which is great. I definitely would like to continue to grow, my I guess my coaching clientele, right? So I think that as time goes on, I will. I know that I'm very engaged with supporting my coach above me. and kind of like that dual coaching. And I think that's been helping out a lot as well, because I'm still learning through my journey. Not only with the coaching aspect of it, but also with parts of the business that I still want to continue to learn and grow on, and continue to help people. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is just helping it continue your journey along is, like you said, you're never really done. It's called optimization, right? Because we're always optimizing our health. We're never just, it's not a race that we win. So one thing I wanted to go back on and touch real quick was, gosh, you said, oh no, I'm losing my train of thought here, Jason. It's been a long day, let me tell you. Oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say. It had to do with something about, was it accountability? Yeah, it was the accountability part of it. When you are coaching other people, people are watching you, and that helps you stay more accountable. Now, not only that, but I've found that when all eyes are on you, you will. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Now I remember what I was going to say. It was when you made that decision to coach, when you made the decision to say, I'm going to start coaching, what qualified you to coach? Why did you think I'm going to be a coach? Why? What makes you? What would make you a good coach?
One word: trust.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, trust. Which goes both ways, right? Mm-hmm. So, allowing that trust both ways in that coaching process. Sharing my story, my journey, my passion for helping others now. Allowing them to be vulnerable and to trust me to support their why a little bit. And I think one word would be that the trust, right? I think that is, and that's big. People think that it's a word that could be thrown around, but trust is a very powerful word.
Agreed. I really do think trust is something that you have to build, you have to earn. And it's also taken away pretty easy.
Yes.
So we need to be diligent in, as coaches, guiding our people, guiding our clients, not just leaving them out to dry, right? Go ahead and start this program. You got it. It's a great journey. I'll be your guide. And then you never hear from them again, right? Where'd your coach go? I don't know. It's building that trust, and it's always a constant, right? Building the trust, building stronger trust, and communication and transparency and authenticity. That all builds trust in a relationship, in any type of relationship. Now, did you know extensively how to coach, or what happened when you started? Like, because there's a lot of people that are like, "Ooh, coaching, I don't think I can take that on my plate right now. I've got a full-time job and I've got kids, and that's just too much. I can't handle that." What was it like coaching? Were you like inundated with all of this stuff, and did you have to have all this prior knowledge to coaching and how to do it? Like, was it easy? Was it hard? How did it work for you?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, right? So I think I will say probably intertwines with a little bit of what I do at work, right? So, I oversee a large operation in my company, which a lot of people report up to me. So I'm already used to, I guess you could say I'm already used to coaching others in a way, but from a position standpoint, right, which is different than the position of building a relationship around someone's why and their health journey versus someone the other a spectrum of that is their position in a company. They're employed and they're paid to do something. They have to follow you, because they report to you, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. But at the end of the day, when it comes to trust, you touched a little bit about it, right? It's all about building the proper relationship with people, right?
Yeah.
And based on the relationships you build with people, will determine the direction and course of action of where it all lands. So that's it's a very delicate journey that when you're coaching people, you have to have patience, right? And kind of a little bit of that inside out coaching ends instead of just pointing the finger and blaming of what people might be doing wrong.
Yeah.
So you got to ask more questions and be that guide on their journey.
Yeah.
So
I like that, because the more questions they ask, the less confused they will be. And I know that a confused mind is always a no. It's always a negative response when somebody's confused. There's never, I won't say never. It's very rare that someone will be open and willing to try something when they're just confused. Right? So communication and asking questions and all that stuff. But I think a word that you were describing as you're describing your how it intertwines with your job, and you already kind of coach already with them, but then there's the corporate, reporting to you and doing it's nurturing. You have to be a nurturer also.
Yeah.
And that goes hand in hand with listening, which is the first thing you overcame. And now you put in that nurturing and you build that trust, and you have that bond, you have that relationship with your clients. And that's when people will succeed in improving their health, is when they have that type of accountability, not the accountability that smacks your hand because you had pizza, not the accountability that chastises you because you didn't follow the program to a T, but somebody that nurtures you and guides you and supports you. So what you're describing to me is the kind of coach you are, the kind of person you are, not just coach, because that translates into every aspect of your being, is who you are. So I told you, everybody, this is a really good guy right here. So listen to what he said. You got to be nurturing. You got to listen. You got to be open to things. And that's when we're going to learn. That's when we're going to grow. So Jason, I appreciate that so much for you opening up to that. And like you said, being vulnerable too. If you're not vulnerable, you're not going to be open to learning new things. So before we head out, Jason, I want to ask you a question, man. If there's anybody watching this right now that is on the fence, it's like, okay, I like what he had to say, but I'm not sure if this is right for me, or I need to do something about this, or I guess I can live with my sleep apnea. I guess I can live with the medications for now. What do you say to them?
Well, I'll say what I say to everyone else. Everything you do is a choice, right? You continue to follow the path you're on. You know what your future is, right? So if you want to change it, you have to change what's happening around you. You have to change your habits. If you're not gonna make the right choice, then you know where you're going. Plain and simple.
That's
you don't
it.
need a map. You don't need a map.
You don't
need a
need
guide. You don't need a coach. Just
no.
So
Make a choice.
Yeah, it's all about the choice.
That's right. Appreciate that. That's pretty good, man. That hits home too. Man, that hits home. Sheesh. All right, last thing before we get out of here, Jason, any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Yeah. shout out to my coach. She's an amazing coach out there. Helped transform me. Stephanie, thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and for my two girls. So absolutely shout out there. Josh, I really want to give a shout out to you as well. I appreciate it. I know for the short time we've known each other, I appreciate the open ear, and listening skills, right? And communication skills. So
Right.
I appreciate it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't, I would like to give a many more shout outs, but I want the two people right now that, Stephanie and Josh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm that open ear, man. Anytime you need, I'm here. So appreciate you very much too.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here, but thank you for tuning in. This is the Healthy Trinity Show. We're going to be back next week with another awesome story of transformation. So don't miss out. It's going to be a surprise as who it is. You never know. All right, guys, have a great week. I hope you stay happy and safe and healthy. Take care, and we'll see you next week.